Rusty car panel repair is one of those problems that feels intimidating, but is surprisingly manageable once you break it down. And let's face it, rust sucks. It just spreads like a virus if left ignored. Don't let it win. The first pain point here is identifying how bad the rust is. There's surface rust, which is an easy fix, and then there's rust that eats through the metal. If your finger goes through the panel, yep, it's the bad kind. Start by stripping the paint around the rusted area until you hit clean, shiny metal. Use a wire brush, sandpaper, or a grinder depending on how extensive the damage is. Sparks flying everywhere? You're on the right path. Next, you'll need a rust neutralizer. These chemicals are your best friend for stopping rust from spreading further. Apply it directly to the area and let it cure fully. This step will save you headaches down the road. Here's the ugly truth. If the metal is weak or has holes, you'll need to cut it out and replace it. Don't just slap Bondo on a gaping hole and hope for the best. That's asking for a redo in 6 months. If you have to replace a section, use sheet metal to patch the hole. Cut it slightly larger than the rusted area so it overlaps. Weld it on carefully, or if welding intimidates you, use rivets and sealants. For those who do weld, remember, short controlled bursts. Long welds warp the metal because of heat, and nobody wants a wavy panel. That's a whole new category of painful car repairs to fix. After patching, smooth it out with filler like body filler or Bondo over the seams. Spread it evenly and sand it down until you're left with a surface that looks good enough to paint. No shortcuts here. Sanding is key. Pro tip, always feather edge the paint surrounding the repaired area. This helps the base coat and clear coat blend naturally, unless you want it to look like you DIY'd it in your backyard, which, let's be honest, you probably did. Priming is critical. Use a high-quality primer designed for automotive repairs. Don't just grab something off your shelf in the garage. 2 to 3 coats should prime it well enough to prevent future trouble. Painting is the final stretch. Match your paint code. It's usually on a sticker inside the driver's door. Don't eyeball the color unless you're okay driving around with a mismatched Frankenstein-looking panel. Once painted and polished, stand back and admire your work. Repairs like these might seem impossible at first, but breaking them down step by step is the secret. It's a satisfying feeling knowing you stopped rust in its tracks.